Usotoki Rhetoric, Volume 3 Review. Having moved past the initial setup, we're now into Volume 3 Usotoki Rhetoric. At this point, readers have a good idea of Kanako and Soma's partners' personalities, as well as the kind of problems they get themselves into on a daily basis. What awaits them in its third installment, let's find out. As we rejoin our protagonists, we find them at the train headed to what Kanako thinks it's a new case. In truth, Soma is fleeing the town after realizing he can afford this month's rent, but as we know, trouble always finds these two, and it is not long before Soma notices a suspicious individual among the passengers who seems to be stealing luggage. After solving that incident, the two are noticed by fellow passenger Miyabi-kan Hanasaki, who is the sister of Kaoru Hanasaki, Soma's childhood friend and the police detective often helping him. Hearing about Soma's trouble paying rent, Miyabi offers to pay it from him, provided he and Kanako help her out on the case she is gathering information about for the occult magazine Spirit Hunt. Miyabi is on her way to learn more about a doll murder incident where a month ago a young girl called Ini was found dead, hugging a doll, but witnesses say that before she died, she was heard claiming to have killed a doll. Ini worked as a servant for the Ayo residence, otherwise known as the dollhouse because the family raised dolls as the prayer to help sickly girls grow healthy. Every day, the dolls are dressed in a new kimono and serve the same food as the rest of the family. After the death of her parents 2 years ago, Shinako, thought to only be 17 to 18 years old, has become the head of the household. Rumors circulate about Shinako, who looks as pretty as a doll, and strange events at the residency, such as voices being heard when no one but the dolls are in a room, and their food mysteriously vanishes. Even in this case, Ini thought rats had been stealing the food left out for the prayer, and decided to put rat poison in it. Afterwards, she found a doll lying on its side and foam around its mouth, as strong as it really had been poisoned, leading her to panic that she had killed it. Was an inanimate object killed, or is there something else was going on here? Together, our three main characters must attempt to get to the bottom of a mystery far bigger than he could have ever imagined. Author Ritsu Miyako talks about how up until now, Usotoki Rhetoric has pulled a Monsters of the Week kind of structure, with short chapters focused on the single case, but this time we spent the whole volume with a single storyline, which is quite a drastic change to what we're used to but once that works for the better in my opinion. Not least because there's a lot of depth in this mystery, but also because we have a new character Miyabi to get acquainted with. Just like Kaoru, Miyabi is the perfect middleman between Soma and Kanoko, helping the two communicate with each other when one or both are otherwise anxious or unable to put their thoughts together properly. She may not be a detective herself, but it means her view and sensibility differ from the others, and the change in their perspective is often the breakthrough they need. The story also builds on the setup for Volume 2 with Kanako being forced to think about why people lie, and when lies are acceptable, not all lies, are bad, and being able to figure out which is going to be important for her going forward if she wants to continue investigating cases with Soma. She's grown a lot of independence compared to when she first met her in Volume 1, 2, and it's interesting to see how her relationship with Soma has been changing because of it. I originally became interested in Usotoki Rhetoric because of the mystery element, but as time has gone on, I find myself very invested in seeing Kanako's story drawn to the end as well. Usotoki Rhetoric Volume 3 comes to the West thanks to the One Piece books and continues to be translated by Molly Rabbit. The translation reads well, although I confess I found myself a bit confused when Miyabi is introduced, as he has been translated as family name first, giving it second. It makes sense given the setting, but I am used to those being swapped around for an English translation, the first name the family name. So the moment it sounded threw me off. This is consistent with previous volumes. So it's not an issue with just that until now, where mostly learn character names, drawn from more informal exchanges using first names, as opposed to someone introduce themselves in this way. One Piece books as Volume 4 scheduled for English release at the end of September, but number 5 isn't up until January, and then there's nothing further in the schedule, so we'll have to quiet a large gap between these going forward. Unfortunately, hopefully the publisher will be finishing the series. Overall, Usotoki Rhetoric Volume 3 changes statics as it introduces a volume-long mystery for Kanako and Soma to investigate. It's always risky to change the structure of a series, but it has been working so well. But author Ritsu Miyako pulls it off wonderfully and provides us with another engaging read. 9 out of 10.